is not the one I was looking at. Came off the bottom.
This might be the last Bassmaster Elite Series event that we see under the current rules. Could this be the last Bassmaster event with forward-facing sonar? Probably not, but I think it's the last one of the wide open, multiple transducers hanging off transoms and jack plates and things like that. I think we're going to see a much more consistent, restricted technology platform going forward in 2025. So if you're all about the LiveScope and you love all the different electronics and front facing and all this and that, this is your last event to take it all in. Now, will it be front facing forward next year? I'm pretty sure there will be. Is it going to greatly affect who does well and who doesn't next year? I don't think so, but this is going to be the last tournament of its kind in the kind of wild, wild west front facing sonar era. So going into next year, we'll have a better idea what's going on. But St. Lawrence River, we're taking out of Waddington. This is the last event, fantasy fishing. Let's talk about who you should pick, what your plan should be. And if you haven't yet won a chattyboys.com gift card in the Beat HellaBass group, this is your last chance. And there's a couple of anglers, fantasy fishing players in the mix for the year-end prize. We also got Angler of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Classic Cut implications, and requalification at Elite Series. There's going to be basically 10 anglers that we're not going to see from the 2024 roster going into 2025. So lots of things, lots of storylines to watch for. And as always, they're always going to blast them on the St. Lawrence River. They got a short practice. That's why this video is coming out kind of late. But let's get into who you should pick. But first, let's talk about the winners of the Beat HellaBass group. D-Sal holding on to a slim lead with one event to go. K. Bassler definitely cut into the lead, definitely has a shot now with just less than 80 points separating the top two in regular fantasy fishing. Congrats to Piggies in the Boat, C. Burgess. You're the winner of the chattyboys.com prize pack. Watch for an email from me in the very near future for fantasy fishing at Champlain. Drain the Lake. El King, Boss Man. You also got a chattyboys.com prize. Big roster, 2,200 points. And Dull Hook, R. Simmons, you are in the driver's seat with just this one last event for Drain the Lake year end. If you don't know what chattyboys.com is, check them out. They have lots of great stuff. They've got tackle, accessories, graphs, trolling motors, everything you'd want for outfitting a boat. So check them out. Support the channel, support what they've done for the fantasy fishing. There'll be a link down in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Go take a peek and tell them I sent you. And if you want, you can use code HBFREE for free shipping and help yourself out. Myself, I had a little bit of a down tournament, not the greatest Champlain event. We're still in the top 500. We slipped a little bit. So we might take a little bit of risk here to see if we can make a splash in this final event. So let's roll in to the picks. And then we will get to tiebreakers and Drain the Lake. As always, I like to start at bucket B. A couple interesting names here. You got Bernie Schultz, who's had a pretty bad year, but typically does well on the St. Lawrence River. Matt Robertson, coming off a pretty solid event at Champlain. Joey Cifuentes had a good event. Ed Loughran won at Champlain. Iconelli, no stranger here. Chad Kipkins is a smally guy. Mullins has done well here when they've been in the river. Ultimately, I think because we're going out of Waddington and the percentage is low, I'm going to take Bernie Schultz. When we've been up in the river, he's almost guaranteed a top 10 as long as he doesn't mechanical failures. Now, not a great year, not a lot of momentum. There's a little bit of a risky pick. Joey Cifuentes might be a safer pick. He's got plenty of experience through Bassmaster and MLF on this river. So if you want to play it safe, go Cifuentes. If you want a little risk, go Schultz. Bucket D, Paul Mueller has had some big tournaments here. He's also had some rough tournaments here. Brian Smith last year had one of the biggest smallmouth bags, if not the biggest smallmouth bag ever weighed in Bassmaster competition, but kind of fell off pace. Tim Dubé, I don't think he's got some experience up in the St. Lawrence River. He is something you consider from New Hampshire. Otherwise, there's some good anglers here that have kind of had up and down type performances on the St. Lawrence River. I'm going to go Clark Wentland. He's had some top tens. He's had some worse than, missed the cut a few times. So he does want to go to the lake, probably. He's the kind of guy that probably is going to go to the lake regardless. He's kind of out of classic contention. He'll need to win, so he's probably going to fish for the win. So he's definitely got that high upside on smallies. Now, he's not super consistent, but when he does have a good tournament, it's usually a top 10. Bucket C, we got Fujita here. He's had one really good tournament and one not so good tournament on the St. Lawrence. The one that wasn't so good was restricted to the river. The one that he did well on is one they would go to the lake. Seth Feider has had a lot of great performances here, especially when they've out on Waddington, coming off a good St. Clair Open, coming off a pretty decent Champlain. Bob Downey found himself in position to possibly make the Classic here. He's made every cut on the St. Lawrence River. Matty Wong had a strong tournament to save his season here last year. Shane Lee Hughes had a lot of good tournaments in the St. Lawrence River. Jeff Gustafson, no smallmouth. But I'm going the Sleepy Assassin, Austin Felix. He's another guy right on the doorstep of making the Classic. Crawled his way back in after a rough start to the year. And I just think the Sleepy Assassin is ready to get things done on the SLR. Olenek has had some good events. He's had some, last year was a rough event for him. He's won here before. He's made the run from Waddington to the lake and won. So he's definitely a player here. Welcher locked up his AOI, almost won here last year, coming out of Clayton. Redwine been very good on smallmouth. Justin Atkins has had a second place here, runner-up last time they were out of Waddington. Lots of good anglers here to pick from. Hackney's shown times where he's done well here, but Taco Ito won his first event in 21 when they went out of Waddington. So I'm going to go with Taco Ito, and hopefully he rekindles the smallmouth Disneyland for our fantasy team. Both the Johnson brothers are in bucket A. Neither one of those are a bad pick. Jay Shakurit, the all-time smallmouth record here a couple years ago. Cooper Glott, a smallmouth guy. Patrick Walters won here last year. Hamner leading AOI. Jacob Fouts fishing out of his mind. Looking to get in the AOI hunt at the end here. Robert Gee, coming off a stellar event. So many anglers to pick here. But I'm going Chris Johnson. I think he gets a top 5 and makes his case for the first Canadian angler to win an AOI. But I don't think you can go wrong with either Johnston or Shakurit. It's hard to pick a bad angler in bucket A. So I wish you luck. It's time to close it out if you're in the mix in any of your fancy fishing groups. Now let's move on to Drain the Lake. 94%, pretty good year. We need to pick the winner this week. So we'll see who we've saved for Drain the Lake. So I've definitely saved both the Johnstons this week. I've saved Cooper Gallant. I've saved Taco Itu. I've saved Austin Felix. I've saved Joey Cifuentes, Bob Downey, and Bernie Schultz. And that's my 8 angler roster. Tiebreaker, I think low 90s is where you want to be. 92 pounds 3 ounces is what I've selected. If you'd rather see fish catches of smallmouth than me talking about fancy fishing for smallmouth, then check out this St. Clair video on the screen right here.